So today I wanted to talk to you about giving and the dark night of the soul. I'll explain a little bit about what that is. Now, the giving, I'm going to put that part at the end. It's crazy because I recorded a video about giving like maybe almost 2 months ago when I was at home in North Carolina with my mom. She did a part and hers is going to be at the end. But I was already thinking about, giving. What can we do? How can we help other people? And look at the state of the world now. It's just ironic that here we are and, that's what we need the most. So I'll do my best to explain to you about the dark night of the soul. Please remember, this is from my own perspective, my own experience, me breaking this down to you. You can always do the research yourself and, come to your own conclusion. Well, the dark night of the soul is basically an awakening. Like, normally it's like a traumatic event or something that happens that triggers you to wake up and to change and to just look into the way that things are and the way that you are. I can explain to you what happened to me. So basically, I would say about 2016, I was with my mom in the hospital. It was November 28th. She was in ICU. She had surgery. So 2 days later, I get a call from my brother. He's like, we have the same mom. We have the same dad, different moms. So he's like, I'm sitting there with my mom. And he's like, I think dad died. I'm like, what do you mean you think dad died? He's like, one of my uncles had posted on Facebook that his older brother passed away. So my dad is the oldest brother. He's the junior. I'm like, that's kind of strange, but okay. So I'm like, okay, so I'll just call grandma and, see what's going on, what's up with that. So I called my grandma. She's like, well, I guess you heard. And I'm like, heard what? Because really I hadn't heard. I mean, I heard, but like, there's no certainty. So she's like, yeah, he passed away. It was around 7 p.m. They found him in the hospital room on the floor or something like that. So I'm just like, wow. So remember, my mom was in the hospital. I'm right there. I was with her and I walked outside. So I got to go back inside. I was actually sick myself. Like, I had a cold because it was wintertime. So that was one of the hardest decisions in my life. I had to decide how to tell my mom, because he was like the love of her life. Like, her love runs deep for him. Like, she just looks at me sometimes because she says I look a lot like him. So she just looks at me sometimes with like starry eyes. And I see the love that she has for him by the way that she looks at me. And she always say, you look like your dad and stuff like that now, especially since he's gone. But anyway, so she's in the hospital. I asked the nurse, I asked the doctor, I'm like, should I tell her, she just had surgery. So should I tell her, like while she's in the hospital, or should I wait and like tell her like months down the line? Now I know if I tell her months down the line, she's going to be pissed. She's the Aries. So I'm like, and really both of them said it's really up to me. Like they really said they really couldn't say, but the hospital is like one of the safest places. So I make the decision to tell her, but I waited. That was Wednesday. So I waited till that Friday, which was the viewing of the body. I went to view my dad's body and, just the family and stuff like that. So I'm told my best friend, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to tell her. She's like, well, I'll go with you. So she went with me. We went to the hospital. So I told her. It was really a hard thing to do, but, I did it. She wasn't able to go to the funeral, of course, because she was still in the hospital. So I had to go by myself. But, and my family handled all of this, like the arrangements and stuff, because they already knew like what I was going through with my mom. That's why I didn't know he was in the hospital, because nobody told me, because I was already, our families are close. So they knew that I'm the only child of my mom and I'm with her. So no, they didn't tell me he was in the hospital. I guess so. I didn't want me to worry. So I told her, we got past that. During this time, I was in like a crazy relationship, like the relationship I told you about, the karmic. The day of that my dad died, I remember she texted me like on some foolishness, and I just responded back like, I don't have the energy right now. My dad died. And that was just it. And then she called me she couldn't believe it. So of course, we buried him. I was already off for a month on FMLA because I had to, help my mom because she had surgery, because I found out like a week or two before that she had to have surgery. Like, it was just like weird how stuff was happening anyway. Like, it was just like stuff out of the blue, back to back. So I'm in North Carolina with my mom, helping her for a month. I'm a college student, still doing classes, come back home, working 10-hour shifts, because that's what I was doing before, 10x4s. Still in that relationship for another year. That went on for another year. So really, if you think about it, I really didn't have time to grieve or like be by myself or any of that. I still had to just keep going. Basically, I kept going and just, kept going for like a year after that. Then that's when my relationship ended. So once my relationship ended, that's when I was alone. That's when it was quiet. Like, you hear this right here? I was not even used to my own peace in my house. Like, it hadn't been that quiet in years, So it's like, okay, I took that opportunity to just think and just reflect and just every so often go back to the things that, that hurt me, or the things that I didn't like, or the way that I acted, or the why I allowed certain things. I thought about that, and I'm just like, okay, in order to prevent this from ever happening again, I need to dissect this in every way possible. I need to go, basically that's going within. You think about why. Why did I allow someone to talk to me like that? Why did I talk to someone like that? Did I not love myself? You know what I'm saying? Like, you really just get into what is your problem. And then you work on you and you build yourself up. That way you don't have to worry about that. And that's what I was talking about. That's what I was saying. I was saying that you need to be alone. That way you can hear the messages from the divine. When I say the divine, I mean the universe, God, whatever you call it. So I say the divine. Depending on who I'm talking to, I say God, because God is a universal word. Basically, I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. And I'll explain the reason why. The reason why is because coming up in my mom's family, her sisters were Jehovah's Witnesses. My grandmother was a Christian, so I went to church with her. I had a cousin that was a Seventh-day Adventist, or however you say that. So I learned as a child that there were different religions. So if there are different religions, which one is the one true way? Since they say there's a one true way, which one is that? So you mean that a portion of my family is supposed to go to hell, or wherever you say they're supposed to go, because they didn't know about the one true way? That just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, make it make sense. They always say, like, I do believe, now the Bible is man-made. Different people did write different versions and different chapters and stuff like that. So we know this. But there are some jewels in the Bible, a lot of them. Like, the one that I carry with me is that God is love. God is love. That means that God is understanding. So just like with sexuality, how they try to say, a man shouldn't be with a man, a woman shouldn't be with a woman. This right here is flesh. Me speaking to you, what you're connecting with through this device, that's my spirit. That's soul. It does not have a gender. Your sexuality has a gender. Male, male, female, female. But my spirit lives forever. That has no gender. God understands that. God created that. So how can that be a problem? Since I've been a kid, basically I am clairvoyant and clairaudient. Basically, like, things come to me like messages. Like, over a month ago, I was like called to do that video. And, like I was saying in my celibacy video, I said to go within, and I said people need to be by themselves and stuff like that. So now this is happening. Now people are forced to be in the house with each other. And when I said alone, literally, I know if you have a family, you can't be alone. You get, like, common sense would tell you I didn't mean, like, literally, like, get rid of your family to be alone. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you need to find a way to isolate yourself and find a way to get back to who you are and, who you need to be, basically. Like, whatever issues that you have, you need to find a way to resolve those issues. That way we can all be better. So what's happening now is it's happening as a collective. Like, it's going to be a mass awakening of people, because now people want to know God, or people, they're scared. So get to the why is something that I always say. The why is important. Why do I have low self-esteem? Why do I not believe in myself enough? Why don't I love myself? Why, whatever that why is for you, because remember, we don't have the same life. We didn't have the same upbringing. So you're going to have to go back into your past, to your childhood, to find out, what's going on with you. You have to heal that space. Seriously, like, you need to heal whatever is going on with you. Repair that so you, can become more whole and a better version of yourself. That's going to help everyone around you. We all have different things going on. So maybe someone is addicted to drugs, alcohol, food, whatever. Find out why. What are you running from? What are you trying to escape? Basically, that's trying to escape reality. For what reason? Find out why that is. That way you can get to, fixing your problem. We also learned during this time that health is wealth. What do they say? The people with the weakest immune system, this virus is affecting. The elderly, stuff like that. Health is wealth. Now we know more than ever, like, you see how critical it is, like how serious it is. Your body can fight off things for you if you put the right things in it, if you do the right things. So now this is causing an awareness for everyone to take better care of ourselves, our health. Your mental is a part of your health, mental health. So you remember I mentioned if you have an issue, they some insurance companies have mental health or behavioral health programs where you can speak to a therapist or something like that. Now more than ever, we need to focus on keeping our stress levels low. So, always try to raise your vibrations, whatever that means to you. You're in the house now, listen to peaceful music. Anything that can take your mind wherever it needs to be for you to relax, for you to stay calm, whatever that means to you. If you need to take a long bath, play jazz, whatever you need to do that for yourself. Turn off the TV, because a lot of that news, it gets in here. That's what the fear is, and the hysteria is what's making you, it can make you sick as well. It can turn into other diseases, other things. So just be careful of what you take in. I was talking about this stuff before it happened. Basically, take care of yourself. That's physically, mentally, every way that you can think of, every way possible. You know what I'm saying? Take better care of yourself. Love yourself. Love on each other. I've been saying this. That's really what we need. It's all about love. God is love. It's all about love. Always find a way to be grateful for no matter what is going on, with you in life, because things will always happen. I was talking to my mom last night. I had a headache for 2 days. I was telling her, what's going on, because I actually work for a healthcare company. Could you imagine in a health crisis working for a healthcare company? 8 hours a day. That's all you hear. It comes up every 5 minutes, this situation that the world is in. So I was telling my mom that I had a headache, and I was trying to rest and trying to deal with it. And she was just saying that we're all in this together, and we will be in more things together. In life, things are going to happen. Other things are going to happen. So you always have to keep it together. You always have to have faith. You always have to be optimistic. She was like, you are so optimistic. That's always you. You just need to take your own advice now. Like, she's like, like you always tell me. Like, she was feeding me back the stuff that I tell her. And I'm like, you're right. This morning, my mom texted me. I woke up to a text message from her. She asked me to do a video about the state of the world, what we're going through, and how people need to stop being so selfish and people need to give. Because I told you a few weeks back, I made a video about giving, but I didn't film my part. So I'll insert the text message that she sent me this morning so you can see word for word exactly what she said. So as you can see, she mentioned the whole toilet paper thing, the whole, wipes thing, whatever. You know the state of the world. You go in the grocery store, you can't find stuff. The reason is because people are taking more than they really need. So if you go to the grocery store, think about somebody else. Don't take the last of something. Like, don't overdo it. Like, have compassion for other people. Think about other people. That's why this is happening. We're supposed to think about other people. Right now, people aren't working. Multiple people have side businesses. Like, they might have a real job, but maybe they're not working right now. They have a side hustle. If you know somebody that has a side hustle, help them. Buy something from them. Now, while you're at home, there has to be some artist that you like, or it can be independent artists. Help them. Stream their music all day. You at home, you got to listen to music all day. Listen to your favorite artists, your favorite songs. Stream this. That's helping them. And that's free. You already got the music on your, probably downloaded. Everybody has an iPhone, so it's just play it, like, do your due diligence to help everyone as a collective now. Another thing, helping is free. You see how I'm talking to you? What am I giving you? I'm giving you knowledge. That's free. It didn't cost me anything, but it's going to help you to spark ideas that you can pass on to the next person. And that's how it all goes around. If we all just helped each other out and gave each other, information, we will be at a better place. I think it's a real important time to also repair relationships. That's giving too. Giving love. That's one of my things. Like, I'm all about love. I know you hear me mention it a lot. But call someone that you hadn't talked to in a while. Tell people that you love them. Check on the elderly. They are suffering the most. They are the most isolated people. Like, they are scared right now. Like, I talk to elderly people every day, and they talk about how they can't leave their house, because they're the number one on the list, and scared of this thing that we're going through. Check on your people. let them know that you love them. Even, even kids, like, just everybody is scared. Let people know that you are there and that you love them and that we will get through this. Be supportive. That's how you help. That's giving. Pretty much talked about giving and broke down everything as clear as possible as I could. I'm sure other ideas will come to me later and you will think of your own ideas. But whatever you think of, just do it. The state that we're in, we all need to be doing our due diligence, whatever we can to, help each other, love each other, and support one another right now. So I'm going to insert the video from when I was at home. My mom had she had a word for the flip side of giving, because there's always a flip side to giving. So just listen to her. I'm going to insert that in there. Be warned that I'm very silly. And while she was talking, I wondered where she was going. So that's why I was, laughing. But just watch this.
Giving means giving, helping somebody there's a need. But at the end of the day, you don't want to give but so much if the person ain't doing something for you, because I have had friends in my life, one particular friend in particular, no name. I can give. I can buy outfits, I can give you money, do this here, buy you a beer, buy you a blunt, buy this, buy whatever. When it comes to my birthday or anything coming up, I'm short. So my thing is like this here. Sometimes it's good to give. I'm not saying it's not good to give. But I'm saying it's a problem when you constantly giving and you're not getting anything in return. And that's what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry. So y'all gonna learn to see that I am like very silly, because I didn't know she was gonna go off on y'all like that. I didn't know it was gonna go that way. But she said, you say you kept it real, right?
Exactly.
So that's giving in a nutshell to her.
And
that's
I'm
my mom.
real with this cheesecake too.
What I want you to do is make a conscious effort to help one another, to love one another, to work on yourself. Use this downtime to do the things that you need to do to make yourself come out of this better. Because that's the whole point. We need to be in a better place when we come out of this together. So just make sure you do your part. Everybody does their part and we'll be at a much better place. Make sure you love on one another. Make sure you give. Play your favorite artists. Tag them. Do whatever you need to do, like to help them, get more awareness or more streams or whatever you need to do. Just, help each other. Love each other and love yourself.